Hello everybody, if you're on the BigCommerce platform and you're thinking about migrating to Shopify or Shopify Plus, you're in the right place. At Optimum 7, we've handled thousands of migrations across platforms, and we understand the intricacies and nuances of migrating one platform to another. One important thing to note is the fact that the functionalities on BigCommerce and Shopify are completely different, and the custom functionalities or features that you might have built on BigCommerce are not going to work on Shopify exactly as is. When we carry out a migration from BigCommerce to Shopify, we don't just simply migrate your data. We make sure that all of your functionalities, features, products, options, and the structure of your entire e-commerce operation remains the same or improves. Again, this includes migrating your products, your options, your customers, your orders, the different HTML pages, the different features that you might have on BigCommerce to the Shopify or Shopify Plus platform. But we don't just stop there. We make sure that your store is set up properly, and we make suggestions on which apps you will need to install or implement on Shopify to actually help you improve your e-commerce processes, traffic, conversions, as well as your efficiency. We are a partner agency with both BigCommerce and Shopify Plus, so you have our support during the migration phase on anything else that you might need from a technology, structure, marketing, or infrastructure standpoint. A critical aspect of the migration process that a lot of people overlook is the 301 redirects. Now, you don't want to lose all of the SEO authority that you have built, all the rankings that you have on Google during this migration process. You also don't want to have any errors on Google Shopping or any other shopping comparison feeds because your URL structures, your product structures, or your product option structures have changed. That's why partnering with an agency like Optimum 7 is key during this process. We might have insights that you may not. Missing some of these steps like 301 redirects or making sure that your products and options are optimized can be a big mistake, and you might lose millions and millions of dollars of revenue or opportunity because the migration process was not completed properly. Stick around to learn how we handle these types of platform migrations to make sure that no detail is missed. Let's dive in and see how Optimum 7 manages migrations from BigCommerce to Shopify or Shopify Plus.
This screencast is to show how Optimum 7 manages migrations from BigCommerce to Shopify or Shopify Plus. Now we have this nice section under optimum7.com/migrations, and what you can do is you can select BigCommerce, and then it will give you the options of all the platforms we can migrate BigCommerce to. If you click BigCommerce to Shopify, you're going to see the products, the categories, and which fields are important, which functionalities we suggest on Shopify if you're migrating from BigCommerce, and some pros and cons, but also there's a detailed guide on what kind of data is transferred and case studies, which might be helpful as well. Now, the way that Optimum 7 migration from BigCommerce to Shopify differs is that we don't do an export import. What's important is that we have to validate all the information. So if you look at the BigCommerce to Shopify process here, as you can see, we have database commands, we have migration commands, and we have the entire URL structures and everything. Because different platforms have different URL structures and the different special characters, limitations, there are so many exceptions, right? Not only that, if you look at our GitHub account, on GitHub, we have done these migrations before. So we have full code on how we validate the products, the customers, the orders, how we tie them together, how we process HTML if you have HTML on your product pages on BigCommerce that need to move over to Shopify. Now, BigCommerce and Shopify manage options and variables differently, right? There is actually some sort of limitation on Shopify with your options, where you cannot have unlimited options. So we validate all of this information through our code because we've done this thousands of times. And if you look at this, you'll see all kinds of migration processes here, and every single piece of code basically makes sure that we validate this information through the API. This is not an export import of a CSV file. You cannot do migration for a website that does millions of dollars annually through an automated software. The software is not going to validate any of this. Now, if you want to look at the documentation, there's a more detailed documentation that we have here. It has all these types of manual links. It has the different exceptions based on, what you can do on BigCommerce, but what you cannot do on Shopify, vice versa. Again, character limitations, the special characters, the errors that you might have. And we do all of this through our process here. As you can see, this is a very, very detailed execution. Why do we do it this way? Because it's very important that you don't lose organic ranks and you don't get 404s, because your traffic is going to drop, your sales are going to drop. It's very painful. We have a lot of prospects that used automated software and the migration did not go well and they didn't work with an expert, and they come back and they're like, well, we lost 50% of our traffic, we lost 60% of our sales. So you don't want that to happen to you. The last thing is, if you actually, again, go to optimum7.com/migrations page, you will see, let me show you that really quickly. You will see a detailed checklist that you can download here, the 125-step platform migration checklist. And that checklist looks like this. It will help you throughout the process, the platform selection, the planning, the actual migration, the storefront, the backend, the checkout, the data, the integration, and anything that has to do with the marketing, social media tracking as well. I strongly suggest that you download this because it will help you plan your entire migration process. Now, of course, we want everybody to do their due diligence. Whenever you do this kind of migration, look at examples, look at case studies of whomever you're going to work with. I'll show you some from Optimum 7. We migrated RC Superstore. It's the site that we worked on. Specialist ID, Good Counsel, Tease to Your Door, Echo Enclose. And if you actually look at this, like what happened after the migration process, I think we migrated this site in 2016. I think we migrated this in 2017. You'll see the database growth in terms of organic visibility. So their metrics have actually improved, because whenever you do a platform migration, you want to go to a speed and mobile first website, and you have to pay attention to the mobile usability metrics, and you have to make certain improvements to design. And from a conversion standpoint, you have to implement certain functionalities like search and filter. And this is all an effect of that, because Google pays attention to how because everybody has analytics, Google pays attention to how your users and your customers interact with your website. Okay, so do your due diligence definitely to go through the process, but this is very, very important. Please make sure you do the 3.0 and redirects properly at the end. That's one of the most important aspects of this. You don't want to lose your ranks. You don't want to lose money. You don't want to lose the authority that you've worked so hard to build. And if you have any questions, please let us know. Thank you.
We hope that this video was helpful and gave you clear information on how to migrate from BigCommerce to Shopify or Shopify Plus. If you have any questions, please comment below or reach out to us at optimum7.com, and we will be happy to guide you in the right direction.